Yo, Sanjay Uchiha here, people, bringing you my review on Boruto Naruto Next Generations episode 23. Before getting into it, I know I haven't really done any Boruto content in like the last 2 weeks, but considering that the arc is over, keeping up with the Uchihas as I would have called it during the manga's run, I thought I'd actually just finally do a review plus include stuff what I missed out regarding episodes 21 and 22. So I'll be doing a bit of commentary and I guess you could say the arc on a whole. So yeah, but yeah. Remember to be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, all that fine jazz and blues. But let's get into it. So episode 23. I just got done watching it, and I must say, definitely the best episode in the arc, animation wise at least. We definitely had a lot of fluid animation sequences throughout the episode. Of course, we see Naruto and Sasuke and company actually invade Shin's hideout in this episode. And honestly, considering I reread the manga recently, I noticed that not just in this episode, but throughout the entire arc, we've had some small changes. One I didn't really like, which I believe was in episode 21, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But I mean, all other changes were pretty decent. We had stuff like Orochimaru saying he owes Naruto a favor from Mitsuki. There was that. There were some interesting changes in this episode, such as extended fight sequences. Like when they just stormed Shin's hideout, they had a fight sequence with the Shin clones coming out to basically try and stop Naruto and Sasuke and everybody. That was cool. Of course, we got an extended fight sequence with Sakura. That was pretty damn good. The animation was pretty damn fluid there. I definitely loved it. Sakura gets a lot of hate in this community, and rightfully so, but definitely I did love seeing her perform in this fight sequence against Shin. That was pretty cool to see. The episode on the whole was pretty consistent from start to finish. I mean, in almost all aspects, arts, animation, all of that. There was this one change as well that I found interesting, where we saw essentially Sasuke was about to cut down Shin. A Shin clone comes to defend Shin, and Sarada tells him to stop, and then we see Shin basically stabbing through the Shin clone to stab Sasuke. That was also not in the manga, but interesting nonetheless. It also was an opportunity for them to pull off what they did with Sasuke strategizing with Sakura to actually take out Shin there and get out of that little quote-unquote sticky situation. Definitely a lot of the added sequences in this episode I feel are to help show Sarada as a character, the bond that exists there between Sasuke and Sakura. Essentially, that's essentially what it is, and I think it works really well, honestly speaking, for these extended sequences. Definitely worked. I loved it. Of course, we have Naruto and all these guys coming in, and we have the Shin clones betraying Shin and taking him out, and Sarada taking out the little mini Jubi thing. That was pretty cool. I love that as well. Of course, towards the end of the episode, we have Sasuke coming home for a bit. Shin clones are dropped off at the Konoha orphanage with Kabuto, who we haven't seen in a while, of course. Kind of looks weird. As well as, Sasuke going back on his mission and all that. That's basically the episode in a nutshell. Now, let me kind of give my thoughts on the entire arc on the whole. I think it is a pretty decent arc, pretty decent, honestly speaking. Writing wise, you could see the contrast between this arc and the previous arc, which should have been the previous 18 episodes, considering that Kishimoto is the one that actually wrote the material that these episodes are based off, episodes 19 to 23, if I got that counts, the episodes span right. Yeah, so that was definitely good. It was actually refreshing to see content based on Kishimoto's writing. Again, definitely a plus. You could see it's definitely a grade above studio periods, to say the least. Definitely, I love the thing about Naruto on a whole, the franchise, is that what makes it good, apart from the action, the characters, and all of that, is that it tends to appeal to its audience on an emotional level, and I definitely love that. Throughout this arc, Sarada trying to figure out her true parentage, her true origins, it's only to be expected. And her going out, as pointed out by Sasuke by the end of episode 23, it's kind of reminiscent of what probably Sasuke would do, as Sasuke points out that she probably takes off of him in that regard. So that was pretty cool. Um, Definitely, you can see Sasuke. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm a Sasuke fan, but I'm not gonna sit here and be biased or subjective in the sense that Naruto and Sasuke, they aren't perfect parents. There's like a lot of room for improvement, and I think that works as a plus. At the end of the day, it's just cool to see that these characters that we've kind of grew up with over the years, despite reaching this point in their life where they're basically gods in terms of power, it's still cool to see that they still have their personal flaws. And I think at the end of the day, that's what kind of, I guess, how should I even put it, resonates with the audience to say, hey, that's what kind of gives us stuff to talk about regarding the show, honestly speaking. So, but at the end of the day, you can see Sasuke definitely loves his daughter. He cares about his family. At the end of the day, he's traveling. He's trying to secure a brighter future, not just for his family, but for the shinobi world on a whole. And for what it's worth, you gotta give him that, honestly speaking. Definitely, in terms of one of the biggest talk of the town regarding this arc, regarding Naruto and Sasuke getting rusty. Definitely poor on Naruto's part specifically, because at least Sasuke has a somewhat of an excuse to say, hey, his eye power is weakened or whatever. But I mean, they weren't really trying to kill him, so I guess they can't get out of it. But my thoughts on it, yeah, they have gone rusty, but nothing they can probably improve would probably just fix that, probably a weaker training or something, if they really need to get to it. What else did I think about the arc? Definitely. Oh, in terms of the change, there was one point where there was a change in the episode 21, I believe, where Sasuke flashes back after Sarada runs out of the little, well, house or whatever they were in, and he reflects back to when he was talking to Naruto about leaving the village again to resume his mission about finding traces of Kage or anything that might stir up the peace again. And the thing is, in the manga version, that was actually a meeting between the major figures of Shinobi world, in the sense that you had Naruto, you had Sasuke, and you have the other four Kage essentially. So I think honestly speaking, Studio Period kind of missed. I mean, it's a small scene, but I think it does justice for Sasuke's character and to show the importance of what he has to do. And they basically downplay that in a sense, because having all Kage there with Sasuke and basically in agreement with treating Sasuke's movements as a top secret mission, it definitely downplays it. And I think that kind of downplays it for me personally, since I read the manga. So whatever. There was that. I didn't like that change, honestly speaking. 22, it was interesting seeing Orochimaru again. The thing I like about this arc is that it's interesting seeing the dynamic between all the characters. I mean, it's just weird even seeing like Orochimaru on good terms with like characters like Naruto. Like, if you think back to the Forest of Death days in the true exams, like a total contrast. So that was interesting. The dynamic between the characters in this arc, definitely interesting to see, if nothing else. Do I have everything covered? I mean, Naruto Sasuke getting rusty. Oh, Shin himself as a villain. I mean, he's not really that impressive. Honestly speaking, his Mangekyo Sharingan ability, I mean, it's not all that. It's pretty useful if you let your guard down, considering once he stabs you with his weapons, he can immobilize you. So if you let your guard down, you could be in a bit of a mess. But in the grand scheme of things, he wasn't that impressive. But I do give credit to his scheme, his overall plan. He has a point in the sense that peace does make the ninjas, I guess, well, not weaker, but soft. It slows down evolution. When you have conflict in your life, it helps you to, I guess, evolve, to kind of find new methods to overcome stuff, essentially. So, essentially, a lack of conflict halts progress. That's essentially what Shin was saying, and he has a point. And for what it's worth, it does definitely good when you kind of think about it, honestly, in retrospect. So, as a villain, he wasn't really all that. He's more like a stepping stone in this new age of Naruto slash Boruto. So there was that. Overall, I still say the arc is pretty good. I feel like I'm kind of rambling from episode to episode back and forth, but I'm just kind of giving all my thoughts here. Definitely the better of the two arcs that we have. I would recommend it to anyone, even though I was gonna say probably to read the manga, but I mean you don't necessarily have to. It's basically 99% the same, more or less, with just a few changes here and there, as I mentioned. Well, especially like for example the Mitsuki change, that was basically to incorporate the fact that we had the previous arc with with Mitsuki included, as opposed to when the manga was going on. I don't think that Kishimoto expected there to be a Boruto series, so that would explain that change. But yeah, definitely a good arc. Um, Sasuke, I'm kind of looking forward to see where things go from here. Of course, Sarada's character does get a lot of development in this arc since it's Uchiha based, and by the end of it, we see that she wants to become Hokage, which breaks the mold of, I guess, Naruto's line of people wanting to become the Hokage. So there's that. I actually love it. It's a nice touch story wise. But yeah, Sanju Uchiha, let me know what you thought about the arc. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.